I immediately agreed with this. He was making reference to Stephon Marbury. He said, you know what good people do when it comes to death? They grieve and never recover. And I'm paraphrasing what he's saying. He says, you know what great people do? They cry for 5 minutes and they mourn walking forward. And that's what we have to do as humans. You have to mourn and walk forward. You have to want to live a productive life. But I was inspired by his life, though, and you want to live a life that inspires. And I apologize. This conversation is definitely 100% more morbid than I typically am. But when you're having a week like this, you become so introspective. When I mean so introspective. I couldn't even begin to tell you, how introspective I've been this past week. You probably can tell by the temperament of this conversation I'm having with you guys. But you got to have faith in something. And the great thing about life is having faith in a higher being. Having faith in a person you're equal will fail you every time. So this ideal or construct of God is beneficial to you from that standpoint. But all you can do is value the time that you have with your friends and reflect on the times that you had and hope that you have been a good friend to them. Because at the end of the day, memories last longer than people do. These stories that you have with your friends, or I have with my friends that I've lost, these stories are gonna carry on with your other friends and your siblings and your children, and so like I still hear stories about people that I've lost in the 90s. When we go to family reunions, we have family outings. So just make sure those memories that last longer than people do are positive, and they affect change, and they encourage positive behavior. Because, man, the friend I buried yesterday was just, oh, man, I couldn't begin to tell you how just one of the biggest philanthropists that I know. I mean, literally, he don't give money to nonprofit. He literally hands you a check. If you needed $5,000 to pay rent. I mean, he literally paid rent for hundreds of kids, man, over the course of his time helping people. Hundreds. I mean, scholarships. You hear about all the time these people donating millions and millions of dollars. What they're doing, they're donating to a nonprofit. I'm going to do a separate video on this at some point. And they get the money right back. They become the executive of their nonprofit, and they live through their nonprofit. So don't be misled. Or their friend or their another millionaire friend owns that nonprofit, and they just keep on donating back to one another to get the tax breaks and tax benefits. But do you guys believe hell is a social construct or a social ideal to control human population? I'm beginning to think that, because, like, as a simple idea as that Jehovah's Witness that knocks on your door every Saturday consistently and faithful. You don't know them outside of them knocking on your door, but energy, spirits. Or like my atheist friend who adopted a child from Africa. White family, white wife, white man adopted a child from Africa because it's the right thing to do. It could have been from Guatemala. It could have been from another third world country, or impoverished country, because, there are many great sectors of Africa, or many great sectors of, Latin America. I don't want us to be getting that propaganda that Africa is terrible and Latin America is poor and ransacked by the drug cartel. But or my friend that I never really knew. I knew that he believed in God, but in order to go to heaven, you got to go to church every Sunday. You gotta pray. You got to pay your tithes. I never knew that person, but I always believed paying tithes is helping someone or helping something. So when you're helping your brother or sister, I believe that's a form of paying tithes. Um, this conversation go on and on and on, and I'm definitely not asking for your sympathy. Um, empathy would be more like it, because we've all gone through grief. But since you guys are like my 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 family that I don't know personally, but that's why I haven't really done any videos this way. I only did one video. I've been pretty open to doing more videos every day, just to stay in the loop. But it's just tough when you got to go to 3 funerals in 1 week, and you're questioning God, and you go visit a friend in the hospital who's been strong all his life. He doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs, and yet he has congested heart failure. These are things that you like to. It's going to happen to this guy. When you see this guy over here, you don't want to. You don't want to say that, but these are conversations that you generally have with yourself. So, barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button, and if you guys are into this conversation, let me know. Is hell real, or is it a social construct that to control human population? A social idea to control human population. So, barbershop conversation, guys. I genuinely appreciate all you guys, and more boxing content is coming. But I just, this week has just been mad, crazy emotionally for me. So, and we'll see. But I will say this: the great thing about having a child is an instant joy. Children bring you so much joy, because they're not in touch with like true cause and effect and the real iniquities of this world. They just want to love, and have a great time and stay positive. So, barbershop conversation, guys. And talk to you guys soon. Peace.